Before people get their panties in a bunch and say, "Oh, Puka Nacua, how could you recommend trading Puka Nacua, Smitty? You're going to pay for this. He's going to be amazing in 2026. Of course he's going to be amazing in 2026. Assuming Stafford plays. And by the time you watch this, maybe 2 months from now, that's very evident that Stafford's returning. But as of this moment on February 2, we have news that McVay's crossing his fingers that Stafford returns to play football in 2026. You also have a contract that must be renegotiated because he's on a year-to-year basis with this deal. They will not have him. He will not play on his current deal. McVay said this very clearly last offseason. It's a 2-year deal last season, but it's a 1-year deal essentially. It needs to be reworked year to year in order to keep Stafford on roster. I know everyone's going to say, it'll be all right, but there's some risk to Stafford not playing 2026. His wife has a heavy hand in his decision-making. She could say, you're done. We got more money than we can spend. And he's one of the Stafford highest paid quarterbacks in NFL history, if not the highest, especially would be after this next contract. His back is a big problem. It's not just a disc. And news broke today that he would not have surgery on his back, which means he will need to rest it. How long will he be out? Will it be the same song and dance as last offseason, where it was a remarkable return for Stafford to come back from a back issue, double issue, because it's the spine and also the disc. The disc is a smaller issue. It's that longer term risk to his back. Nacua is vulnerable in Dynasty because even if Stafford comes back for one more year, he's older. He could get hurt at any moment. One shot to the back. But the point even being beyond 2026, if let's say he retires after 2026 and there's thought of that as the middle of the year, or he gets injured in the middle of the year, Puka Nacua is going to be hard to trade if this thing crumbles on Puka while he's there like it did JJ over Minnesota. Don't think for 1 second a Puka Nacua can't fall victim to what JJ's going through right now in Minnesota. We just saw it with the number one wide receiver in football. JJ was the number one wide receiver in football. He's barely a top 15 wide receiver right now. Even entering 2026 free draft or dynasty, we have no idea where to rank JJ, and you know it. That might get resolved in the next couple months. Maybe you're watching this 3 months from now and they've got Tua Tagovailoa. They traded for Mac Jones. Free agency is not kicked off yet. It's February 2. We're talking about March is when that all goes down. We're going to talk about this all right now. The fantasy football show begins right now, graveyard style, dynasty style.
You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
So good news is that Sean McVay signed an extension, so he's not leaving. And don't think that that wasn't a risk, because McVay talked about retiring like 2 years ago. Like, maybe I'll come back. He almost retired. So that was a concern there. That's been put to bed. Stafford staying more than 1 year and being good for more than 1 year is a big shot in the dark. I mean, even if, like I said, Puka does get Stafford the way Stafford is right now for an entire season, what happens when you're knocking on the door on the inevitable and people know Stafford's gone, as good as gone after this one season? It's going to be harder to trade Puka. Right now, Puka's at the top, the pinnacle of value. That's why we're having this conversation. It's not about you should accept the highest offer and just take it. It's not about Puka won't be the number one overall redraft player and deserve it. Puka, if I'm in a best ball draft, promo code Smitty, by the way, the link's in the description. They'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. If I'm drafting on an underdog draft right now for redraft, best ball, Puka, I'm taking at 1, I'm taking him at 2, I'm taking him at 3. 100%. And best ball too. Like, if Stafford misses 3 games in the middle of the year because of his back, you can weather through that. Best ball is even much more different for that. I'm not saying no one in here is dumb enough to suggest that he can't be, arguably in hindsight, the number one overall player in 2026. But you have to look beyond that and say He's also the most injury-prone wide receiver, probably in the top 10 to 12 wide receivers. There's no first or second round player that probably comes with more injury risk than Puka Nacua. And that's not random injury, guys. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about anybody could get hurt. Smitty, my name's Stevie, and I'm going to complain like a little baby that anybody can get hurt, Smitty. True. And he has that risk as well. That's a completely compartmentalized, separate risk. Puka Nacua has the chance of some random injury as much as anybody, but he also comes with a bucket full of risk that only he and a few other wide receivers or running backs, Scattaboo, some would say Neighbors, maybe Neighbors proves to be different, but reckless abandon they play with that puts their body at risk. That doesn't mean that his risk of a just random ACL no contact injury even goes away. That's also there, but you can't really account for that. No one's trying to account for that. We're talking about one of the toughest, and we love him for it, grittiest players in the league that puts his body on the line every time he hits the field. You have the injury risk. You have the Stafford risk. You have the, if Stafford's gone, what's the quarterback situation risk? This guy feeds his wide receivers. Look at Cooper Kupp. Is it any, not to take away from Puka at all. Again, how many times can I say it? He's the number one overall redraft player potentially. And damn well deservedly so. Paul says injury risk is overblown. No, it's not, bro. It's you're trying to compare injury risk like any random freak injury. This guy's in the tent or in the tunnel half of his games this year. So your argument shot dead in its tracks. Dead in its tracks. This guy is injured constantly. So don't try and pull the random injury card, Paul. But Puka Nacua has so many different risk factors. Again, number one overall in redraft, no doubt about it. But you can go get the world for him right now. You could trade down one wide receiver spot. You could trade down to JSN. Potentially, or do a straight up even 1-for-1 swap. You could trade down for Jamar Chase. You could trade down for Malik Neighbors. He's injury risk. Okay, fine. If you don't want to go that route, you could trade down to any one of those wide receivers and gain an additional piece. Get rid of all the potential risk tied to Stafford, tied to Puka himself. It's something you need to strongly consider. If you're telling me you can get a wide receiver 1, 2, or 3 spots below him and an additional piece for your team, he's an exciting player to own. And again, you could say, well, I'll just wait. You don't wait. He's at the pinnacle. He's at the top of his fantasy football value. He's a wide receiver 1. He's the number 1 overall player potentially. This is where you go and you potentially strike it rich. And yeah, maybe you regret watching Puka Nacua be the wide receiver 1 this year, but you will be happy you made the JSN straight across swap or the Jamar Chase and you got a little bump. You were able to get Gadsden for your other tight end that he looked okay, but Gadsden looked sneaky. You ended up grabbing some other player that no one saw coming. Somebody threw in a free Kyle Manang guy and you swapped him out with JSN. Whatever. You moved your first rounder for another person's first rounder, and you feel like you're going to have the 1.1 or 1.2, and they're cocky about their team, but you knew it wasn't good. You're able to swap first rounders. There's so many creative ways to do a 1-for-1 JSN for Puka swap, Jamar Chase for Puka swap, JJ, and go get a whole bunch more as the JJ situation is not resolved. I mean, there's no argument here that Nacua is amazing. Not to mention, probably the most concerning thing of all is the man cut his mullet. This feels disastrous. This is like Madden type stuff. The guy cut his mullet. His famous mullet, the one we celebrate here on the channel constantly. It looked like he put a bowl in his head and left everything long on the top and just did a full bowl cut. The mullet.
Through sheer science and intense aerodynamic study, the mullet of Puka Nacua has been reconstructed inside the fantasy football show studios. This systematic balance of hair volume, mixed with both quantum atom fiber technology and L'Oreal shampoo and conditioner, creates a floating mechanism to which the world has never seen. Patent pending. To see this prototype in action, see Puka on Sundays as he floats around the field.
The science is against us, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that part alone just devastates me, guts me. You know, whenever someone changes their number to 0, you know, we're like, oh, this could be good. Or they change their haircut, you know, especially when they have an iconic mullet. It doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. This fresh start, why? Why fresh? Why? What are we doing? What are we doing? Putting a bowl on our head and giving ourselves a little haircut, a little trim. Phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We're not going to be here too long tonight. We're here just to kind of break this, you know, McVay talking about fingers crossed with Stafford. The other report, too, on Stafford, if people were unaware of the situation, Stafford has, let me see, McVay, okay, here's the news that broke today. McVay signed to a contract extension. That's obviously fantastic. Devontae Adams absolutely expects to return to the team in 2026. He's a touchdown hog, but I don't know. I'm feeling drop off for him there. That's even more of a reason to like Puka a little bit more this year, is because I do feel like Devontae is going to fall off. But that's this year. It's a different conversation than in Dynasty. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Matthew Stafford returns in 2026, according to McVay, which is just not what you want to hear. And then head coach McVay also said Matthew Stafford will not require surgery to repair his herniated disc in his back, but again has a greater back issue at play. You know, it's there's a lot going on here from a dynasty perspective. And if anybody looks at Cooper Kupp and says, well, you know, it is ironic, and this is not taking away from Puka and who he is, but if Puka Nacua did not land in LA to play with Stafford under McVay in McVay's system with Stafford, we wouldn't know who Puka Nacua is to this degree. I can promise you that. You might say, oh no, he's him. He's him through the tutelage and development under McVay and Stafford. Just like Cooper Kupp would never have been Cooper Kupp without McVay and Stafford, especially Stafford spoon-feeding Cooper Kupp over and over and over. We would not be whispering Puka Nacua as the number one wide receiver in the league if he was not in LA. You can say whatever you want, but you just sound silly. Now, no one's saying that just like Devontae Adams was made by Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams was able to blossom and grow, and then when he left Rodgers, even though things kind of went sour in a lot of ways, Adams is still the same player. Like, you can grow someone up, coach them up, teach them, feed them, and they become something. Puka could go somewhere else with a great quarterback and thrive. But if he didn't have the upbringing, NFL upbringing that he had, he would not be the same player. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what you say. So it's not accurate. He is who he is because of where he grew up inside the NFL. Now, that again, he goes somewhere now, he could be amazing. But that's who he is now. He developed into that. So my point being, this is how important Stafford is in this environment. Now, you rip Stafford away and don't replace him with a good quarterback, then you're not going to see Puka thrive like he was, or even close to it. You take Stafford, you retire him, and Puka, not going to get traded, by the way. If Puka were to get traded, let's say to, I don't know, let's say New England, Nacua would go absolutely ballistic because he is who he is now. He's grown into the player he's supposed to become, or he was potentially able to become. He's gotten to his ceiling value. The same thing could be asked about anybody. Could Tom Brady have been Tom Brady if he went anywhere else? Would Kurt Warner have ever been good? No, because he could barely find one opportunity. This is the way the NFL is, and that's the beautiful part about what we do and how we play this sport. And we find gems like Puka Nacua. But Stafford had more to do with Puka Nacua becoming Puka Nacua than Nacua's skill set did. Even though he came into the league with a lot of good skills, he was a very, very good prospect. We loved him in best ball his rookie year and drafted him a ton. But Stafford force feeds wide receivers, and it's no coincidence that Cooper, Kupp, and Puka were back-to-back created in this environment. I'm not saying it's fabricated, but it's definitely the environment that has more of a sway and conditioning to the player than the player talent. And evaluating these players in the scouting process. Like, oh, they just happened to bring in Puka and Kupp back to back. Just like Aaron Rodgers happened to bring in Jordy Nelson, happened to bring in Davante Adams. Green Bay's just so good at this, aren't they? That's why they don't draft wide receivers early, because they've been so lucky and skilled at it, right? No, it's been Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers produced receiver after receiver after receiver after receiver. I'm not saying Davante Adams wouldn't have been good. I'm not saying Jordy Nelson wouldn't have been good after they got developed, but Aaron Rodgers was 80% the reason why Davante became so good. I mean, look at all the receivers that Aaron Rodgers created. Nacua could fly somewhere else, but man, he's not going anywhere. Stafford goes, Nacua's by himself on an island. We just better hope Stetson Bennett or whoever, Stafford, McVay could be smart enough to bring in the right guy, but even if he does, they're not going to be Stafford where it's like, this is Puka, here's 75,000 footballs per game. So there's going to be some setback. Not to mention the odds of the player replacing Stafford being elite right away. It's probably going to be a musical chair thing for a while. Travis, you're live. You there, Travis? Oh, hold on. Let me turn on my... All right, you should be there now, Travis. Sorry. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing with Puka too is like we talked about, he's getting ready to, he's going to be coming up on an extension, and I don't know if this is, in conjunction or he's just person or what. He's seemingly starting to go a lot more like Hollywood. He's being seen in the public eye a lot more. He's on podcasts. He's trying to date, models and superstars. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, Sweeney. Yeah, that's why he cut his hair, but he got the wrong cut. that bowl cut ain't doing it. I don't know what he's doing. Bro.
I mean, more power to him, But it's like these outside things are starting to come in, and doesn't he seem like? And this is just speculation, but doesn't he seem like the type of guy who you're gonna see trying to be in movies, all that type of stuff?
Yeah.
Podcasts, and he just kind of seems in that direction.
Yeah, we talked about this too, and I didn't get into that because I just kind of moved on quickly. But Puka Nacua, and no one's saying he's Antonio Brown. I'm not trying to say that, but when Antonio Brown did go off the rails initially, it was subtle. It was subtle, and it got grew. Puka Nacua has certainly changed his personality very quickly. Very quickly. He went from mild-mannered to now, kind of being, what's the best way to describe him? He Hollywood, like Hollywood in a way, yeah, like Kelsey-esque in terms of, but he's getting Hollywood, and right now it's not affecting him. Right now he's thriving off of it. It's kind of feeding into it, and I like it to a degree. Like if it were to stop here, I'd be okay. I like a little bit of edge to the player. I like a little diva to my wide receiver, but at this point, the growth pattern is shot up as far as his shenanigans. And this goes even to the locker room where someone could be like, oh, come on, man, it's fun. It is, but in the locker room, he's live streaming. And he had multiple teammates come up to him and go, bro, stop live streaming. And he's like, I'm not live streaming. And and he's just live streaming, and there's people getting like, what is he doing? And they're like, stop live streaming, bro. It's, you're not allowed to do that in here. He's like, I'm not. And he's just like doing his own thing. He doesn't care what anybody says. Goes on, starts talking about the refs the way he did, which is like just out of pocket. And then he went on Aiden Ross and then got out of pocket there. And again, some of that wasn't his fault. But at the end of the day, he's kind of just going a little bit like pedal to the metal in a new direction. And if he doesn't level and just keep it the way it is, and he keeps getting wilder, then this is where this turns into, okay, 2 years ago when someone said this is wild, it wasn't. It was kind of wild, and now it's like subtly all of a sudden, holy shit, what's the guy doing? So, and wide receivers have a change in personality because all the headshots they get hits, and it get, the CTE and all the other things that potentially are related to pass catchers, players that get hit in the head. Puka's getting hurt all the time. How many concussions do you think Puka Nacua has had that he doesn't even know he has a concussion? Like, everyone's saying, well, he's not always in the tent for concussions. Bro's always on the ground, and he's the kind of guy that wouldn't report it. This is the kind of guy that get up and say, whatever. Like, how many times do you think he's taken a shot like that and he just doesn't even... he's reckless with his body. There's concern. There's long-term concern here. Regardless of what anybody wants to admit or say, it doesn't affect his 2026 value all that much, especially in best ball, where you don't care if he misses 2 games. You're trying to make the playoffs in week 15. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as you miss week 8, week 9, week 10, but you're still number 2 or 1 in your grouping of 12 in best ball mania, you advance. It doesn't matter. Like, but in yearly league, it does matter a little more, and in dynasty, it especially matters. So they're 2 different conversations. Puka Nacua redraft, number 1, number 2, number 3 overall capable. Puka Nacua dynasty, there's a bigger bag of concern that a lot of people are afraid to talk about, but I'm not.
Yeah, and I see people in the chat saying it, and I agree with them. Like, I'm not knocking him for living it up.
No.
It's just something else to keep in mind.
And,
enough of these things on top of each other.
Right. And then he says he wants to retire by 30, not into his 30s or like 31, 30. He's like, by 30, I want to be retired. So does he mean, and while that's a long time in dynasty, it's just, like you said, you're stacking up different concerns, and they're starting to mount, man. They're starting to mount, and I just think that when you're talking about his value being number 1 overall in fantasy, why not take a little bit of a exploring journey down, trade in Puka Nacua for Jamar Chase or JSN lane? Just take a little stroll down that lane and just see what you can do. Nowhere here has Smitty or this channel or Travis or anybody said, go get out of Puka and go into the second round and start grabbing a receiver. We're saying go get JSN, go get JJ while he's really low and get something additional. Go get Jamar Chase while you can maybe get something additional. The whole point here is that Nacua is living on top of the world right now, and there's just a nice opportunity to say, JSN's pretty damn good too. Jamar Chase, pretty damn good too. JJ, dynasty-wise, pretty damn good too. What can I get to swap this out? That's all we're trying to tell you. There's nothing else here. There's no get out, he's a bust, there's nothing here. There's no Smitty told you Puka Nacua had a great 2026. No, I told you he's going to have a great 2026. I'm going to make you get me coffee if you try and come back here and say that on me, because we're telling you. But when it comes to the long-term dynasty situation, that's the concern. There's not much more to say here, honestly.
Yeah. I had a couple. Is there anyone else on the line?
No, go ahead and hit me with your dynasty questions, and we probably won't be here too much longer. I know I said that like 15 minutes ago, but go ahead real quickly with your questions, and then we'll see what else we got real quick.
Yeah. So I have a dynasty team, and I have Stafford and Puka, and it's a 3 wide receiver. Just for context, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. And my other wide receivers right now are Amon-Ra, Puka. Yeah, those are my three main guys. I have Adonai Mitchell.
Okay.
So, league, I'm kind of looking to get into a better quarterback because I have Stafford, Penix, and Jordan Love. And I'm willing to move Puka because I do have Amon-Ra. Here in the year, I didn't do it because situation I ended up second in this league. I lost the championship. I was going for a championship, so I didn't do it. I was offered Genty and London for Puka. It was when London was hurt, Genty wasn't producing, so I didn't do it because Puka was just costing.
Yeah, that's good. But hey,
But
Puka's
obviously,
value's gone. Genty's value's gone up. London's is probably not. Maybe Puka's value going up probably since then, and Genty's going up washes. Can you still get it done? And I'm not necessarily even saying. I mean, I do it. I do it. I do it. I wouldn't be mad at somebody for not doing it, but I would do it.
okay. And then the other option I have is there's someone in the league that has May and Drake Allen. I mean, Drake May and Josh Allen.
Drake Allen.
Yeah.
Sounds like a monster. I don't think I could. That's kind of monster that keeps you up at night. Drake Allen. Jeez,
Drake Allen.
that name is crazy. I could just picture him. He's probably some 7-foot tall quarterback. All right, go ahead. Drake May and Allen. So you're wanting to get one of them. Which one is he gonna trade? Do you think?
Sounds like he wanted to trade May. I don't know if that'll change or not, but I think he values them fairly similar. And it's a 1 QB. So if I were to move Puka, and he said he would want Stafford back just to have another QB. So if I were to give him Stafford and Puka, and I get back May, what else would you need back with him? He has a good wide receiver.
1 QB. 1 QB.
Yep, it's 1 QB.
Okay, so we need a lot because Puka's going 1, 2, 3 overall. May's going probably top of 3. Dynasty, someone could argue bottom of 2, but we'll call them 3.1, 3.4, something like that. So we need something significant. Like what does he have?
So the wide receivers that he has, Pickens, Lamb, Jamar Chase, Olave.
He's not going to do Chase. So Lamb or Pickens or Olave with May, is that enough? Lamb.
That was kind
I
of
would take Lamb.
thinking.
I'd take Lamb. Would anybody take Pickens and May for Puka and Stafford? It's crazy because I know Pickens outscored Lamb last year, and maybe we pause on this and just think about it. Lamb got hurt, but Pickens was 5. Obviously, Lamb was, where was CD 17. But again, there's an injury there. But I still believe in Lamb. I truly do. I think I'm probably gonna say give me Lamb over Pickens. I love both of them, but I think I would do this. I would do Lamb and May. Would I take Jamar Chase? Of course. I don't think he'd do that, but you could try. You could shoot for that and move down. But
Okay. Yeah, and in this league, there's a couple
I'm not gonna do that.
teams who have multiple QBs. Like one guy has T-Law and Dak. One guy has Goff and Hurts. One guy has Herbert and Mayfield. One guy has Dart.
Yeah. Who does the Herbert owner have at wide receiver? It'd be wonderful if he had like a Pickens, which he doesn't, because you just told me the other guy did, but like Amon-Ra down to Pickens in order to move like Stafford into Herbert or something. But I don't know. That would be my line of thinking, is how can I get Stafford into Herbert by moving like Amon-Ra or one of your running backs.
He's got Nico, BTJ.
Nico, I could definitely trade Herbert for Stafford to get Nico over Amon-Ra. Chad, are you doing that too? Taking Herbert with McDaniel now? Herbert and Nico for Amon-Ra and Stafford. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. What is he, 27? I mean, no, Amon-Ra. So Amon-Ra and Stafford for Herbert and Nico.
And you're keeping Puka in that situation?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, Puka's not in this conversation as of right now. I mean, Nico is still. What did Nico finish? Number 7, man. I mean, he keeps doing it. You know, he's so quiet.
I'm really high on Amon-Ra. I mean, I think he's got another 3 years of close to top 5 and pencil him in.
Yeah, but we're not comparing Nico and Amon-Ra. We're doing this because of Herbert, though. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because Herbert, I mean, look at what Herbert did last year. Considering the situation, kind of
won at one point.
Yeah, I know. Number 9, considering his whole team fell apart and he was running for his life, and nobody did anything the last half of the year. Like Herbert at 9 is pretty good. I don't know, man. I'd be okay, but I'd try for this May Lamb. That would be.
Yeah, I like some pulling. And then, how do you feel? Just while I got you here, my top 2 running backs are Cook and Hendy.
Cook and Hendy, not bad. You could go quarterback shopping using James Cook. I don't think Hendy's going to get you what you want anyway. You just got to hold him, but like James Cook down to.
Especially if I could get Genty in London for Puka, I could then definitely take James Cook.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I wonder if you could, in one deal, upgrade. Who's the Genty owner has May and who?
No, the Genty owner has Dak and T1.
Okay. So the Genty owner, I mean, you could go. Do you think they value Cook over Genty? It's hard to say. Some people are all over the map on that.
I think he might have tried another deal.
I wonder if you could get
Swap
Dak. I mean, I'd be fine with Dak and Genty for Cook. Absolutely. All right, Travis, anything else?
Like it. No, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Later, guys. Some people are going to not even watch this video and reply in comments. Like, he can't trade. Puka's going to be amazing this year. You're going to see. But for those that are here paying attention, absorbing, appreciate you. Don't forget, I've got my content site 24/7, 365 live content. Trade calculator, 6 bold predictions already up. Rookies are in the rookies and the rookie rankings, and the rookies being incorporated into all the rankings. That's done 24/7. So I'll readjust when landing spots are given out. But this isn't a place where you go, well, I wonder when he's adding the rookies. The rookies are there. They're in everything. They just need to be resorted as landing spots land. Don't forget 24/7 live chat group. That link is in the description. The link to the fantasyfootballshow.com. My content's in the description. The link to the main YouTube channel is in the description. And make sure you're good to go on all that. We're live on the main channel, which is why I mentioned the link to the main channel of the YouTube channel. We're live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. Appreciate you all. Thanks for being here on the Dynasty channel. Make sure you subscribe to this if you're watching and you think you're just watching the main channel. You're not. Please subscribe to this channel as well. See you all later. Deuce.